Welcome to this series of Physiography of India. This is the part 4 of the lecture. In this lecture we will see the Great Plains. Moving forward the topic. This will be a little bit long topic, long lecture. Okay. So for the Great Plain, how this Great Plain has been formed? What is the reason behind it, the formation of this Great Plain, and why we are calling it as a Great Plain? You know that our Himalayas is present like this one. In all those lectures I have explained all these things. So Himalayas is present like this one. Okay, these are the Himalayas present there. Then from southeast it gets submerged here in the Bay of Bengal and then re-emerged as your Arabian Sea. Okay, re-emerged as in the Arabian Sea. See what happened when you create pressure between two things, like this is one thing coming together and this one thing coming together. Okay, what will happen when these two things collide together? When those two things collide together, one will go upward or one will go downward. Only these two scenarios can happen, or both will go upward. Okay, but in our scenario, in the Himalayan formation also we saw that Indo-Eurasian plate is denser one, so it is subducting below. Okay, whatever the pressure, like if something is going on, if you are giving pressure, like two things are coming and pressure is building there, and these are, and you are getting formation of mountain, then what happens when these things happen, when this is raising above, one syncline will form on the land like this. What happened, that one depth is created. Near the mountain region it is okay, but far the mountain regions also you will find the syncline present. What is syncline? Just to explain one better example from the real world scenario. Okay, when you buy a shoe, if you buy a long shoe, then what happen after some day, after 2 days or 3 days of wearing that shoe, you will get some sign or darks present in the shoe. That why these darks are present, why these signs are present? Because of your way of moving. Like when this tip of your shoes come above, that form geosyncline, that form some signs, like that form some mark on your shoes, that shows that your shoe was bended from that area. That shoe is bending when you walk when you walk, that shoe get bent from that area. That is called geosyncline. So in the same manner, when the two plates collide together, geosyncline get formatted. That mark get happened in the land, and this land gives the formation of your Great Plain. Okay, and that's why you will see that river flow, like if this is your land and this one and then your land. So what happened, that our south part river is also coming in this basin, and the north part rivers are also coming from this basin, and then they are river flowing there and falling into the most of the river falling into your Bay of Bengal. Okay, this is the thing that I have explained in very layman term. I hope you understand it. So the lifeline of India is agriculture, and for this plains are very important because they need alluvial soil. So usually mineral resources are present at plateaus wherever we consider plains, and it is formed of sedimentary rocks. Okay, sedimentary rocks I have explained in the lecture. Again I am telling that sedimentary rocks are those types of rocks that formed by the collection of silt and all by the rivers, and after the pressure after the pressure and the heat and pressure happen, these things get converted into the hard rocks and sedimentary rocks. So, and sedimentary rocks are formed by layer. So you may find fossils present between those layers. Okay, so due to the sedimentation process only we get soils, and in Great Plains we have abundant amount of groundwater because rocks present in these regions were porous, and plains population is more because of agriculture only. So agriculture based industries flourish at plains, and mineral based industries plains at plateaus. Okay, so I hope you are understanding that whatever I am saying, like see, when the river flows from Himalayas and all, the soils and rocks are present are very porous. Okay, so what happened, that get absorb the soils, absorb the water, and then water get is underground. Okay, and plains, and due to this, like most of the rivers are present in the plain area and they are getting alluvial soil there, so the and so they can produce foods crops, they can grow food crops there. So most of the population are present beside the river. Even in the history also, if you see Harappa and Mohenjo-daro cultivation, and whatever the fights happen, these all are fights happening for the river beside area, like if they are following the Ganga and the Indus rivers and all, because of the fertility only, because of the foods only, because of the agriculture only. Okay, so the main things that revolve of the population is only because of the agriculture or rivers present there. So, and as per this river flowing area, so in the Great Plain we will see agriculture based industries getting flourished. Okay, so that's why it is saying, like in agriculture based industry flourish at plains, and minerals based industries on plateaus. So plateaus is something like that is fairly high level of ground, and you will get more minerals at present there. Okay, now the thickness of the plains depend upon the sediments brought by the rivers. Okay, so whatever the, like if the plain is there, it will depend like how much thickness of the plains will depend. That plain is formed because of the sediments of the river only, and the number of river present there, how many rivers are flowing into that plain, how many rivers are coming into that, how many tributaries are coming into that river. On that basis sediments get accumulated. Like if the more rivers are present, if the more tributaries are present, then the more sediments will get accumulated, and the more fertility will come, and the plain will get increased. So the Great Plains are aggradation plain formed by alluvial deposit, and whenever there is a compression, that I have already said that two things, that Eurasian plate and Indo-Australian plate, when there is compression, there will be some geosyncline formation before it due to compression. What I said, like if you are wearing any shoe and you start to travel for 1 or 2 days, you will get some mark happening onto your shoe, that some marks happening because of that. What? Because you are bending of the shoe, you are getting marks here. So in the same way, when the two plates get hit each other, geosyncline will form, that is mark will get formed, and this will let the formation of that will make river flow into that marks only, because of the potential difference. So these forms basin. So the Great Plains is 90 to 100 km in Assam, 160 km near Rajmahal, 200 km in Bihar, 280 km in Allahabad, 500 km in Punjab. So these areas get form your Great Plain, and it merges into the Thar Desert. Okay, then Delhi regions separate Satluj Plains and Ganga Plains, and Yamuna River which joins, ultimately you will see the Yamuna rivers getting joining into the Ganga River into Allahabad and Prayagraj. Okay, so 1300 Dev Prayag. Okay, so 1300 to 400 meter depth increases southward. So what happened? River is flowing from what? Himalayas. And why is it flowing in this direction, that in the southward direction? Because there is potential difference. Potential difference means what? There is a low land is there. Okay, and low land, so how much height difference is present from north to south. So as we can see, the 1300 meter to 1400 meter depth decrease, 1300 meter depth decreases southward. So it is something like that. If in those regions, like if you go, it will form, there is a potential that the land difference will present. So don't take it as a actual measurement, but it is like the depth will increase or decrease. So if the depth will decrease, the river will get turned, and if the depth will increase, the river will get flow into that region, and ultimately that will fall into your Bay of Bengal. Okay, and in the westward you will get the formation of estuaries, and in the eastward you will get the formation of deltas. And for this, why is it happening, I have explained in the separate lecture. You can find it on my channel. Okay, so the river also flows from south to north, and that is mainly because of the slope. Like here, like in this one, like if this is your area, that's why here it decreases. See, this is a plain, this is a geosyncline area. Okay, here is what happening, like it is more above, here is what happening, the potential difference is more, geosyncline is present here. So whatever the river, like if the river is flowing into this one also, the river is not flowing actually in this direction, river is actually flowing into that basin, and ultimately you will see that it will get joined with the Yamunas and river and all. Okay, that is what it is saying, that mainly because of the slope present in this main area, because of the geosyncline formation of the Himalayas, so we will see rivers are flowing from south to north. Okay, and we depend upon the sedimentation deposit also, how much sedimentation deposit had happened, like if there is more then the depth will less. These are the factors. So as the slope is towards the basin, the river from the Himalayas and the peninsular region too will flows into the basins. Okay, so I hope you are understanding whatever I am saying. Okay, now we will move to the next topic. So divisions of the Great Plains. Okay, so see, I have said about the plateaus and also and plains also. See, plains and plateaus are both flat areas of the land. The main difference between the plain and plateaus that is lies in their elevations, that height. So plateau is a flat land that is raised significantly above the ground, where plain is a flat low lying area. So at the Himalayas region you will find many plateaus, and in the main like Great Plain areas you will find that plains. So most of the minerals are coming from that plateaus only. Okay, that's what here I said that minerals based industries are on plateaus and agriculture based industries are on plains. Okay, now we will see that is Bhabhar and Terai plains. Now we will see the plains, like what are the types of plains and all. You will see that what is Bhabhar plains, what is Terai plains, what is Bangar plains, what is Khadar plains, and what is delta plains. Okay, these are the divisions of the rivers flowing. So the plain consists of boulders, rocks, as rocks present are uneven and water can easily penetrate or the stream. See, when the river flows from the mountains, this is mountains, and when the river is flowing from these two mountains, what happens? Lots of rocks are present, boulders are present. Okay, so that's why in those kind of rivers even you can go into the middle of the river if the water is not flowing much above. What happens? Rivers are flowing below those rocks, like if there is a large size of rock present in between those things, so what happens? The river will flow with these cracks, with these spaces. That plain area, like where the lots of boulders are present, that are lots of rocks are present, and rivers are flowing into below that areas, and you will see that rocks above you, even if you can walk on that rocks, and the river is flowing beneath that rock. So that is known as Bhabhar plains. So these plains consist of boulder rocks, as rocks present are uneven and water can easily penetrate or streams or rivers flows through or beneath the boulders and comes out from the some regions. So the rivers flowing through Himalayas bring lots of sediments with it, and the sediments deposition, big rocks are present near the foothills of Himalayas, and the size of rock decreases. So like near the Himalayas, near the mountain, you will get large size because it is a part of mountain only, and as you go away from that mountain, the size of the rock will get decreased. Okay, because of hitting and breaking of all the rocks together. Okay, so Bhabhar plains are present along the foothills of Shivaliks continuously from the Indus to the Tista. The porosity is so high that almost all the streams disappear. So I have already explained like why Shivaliks, how Shivalik get formed. Shivalik range formed because of your sedimentation and all, and you can find this all explanation in the formation of Himalayas lecture. Okay, that how the greater Himalayas formed, what are the reasons behind the greater Himalayas formed, then middle Himalayas, then lesser Himalayas, then you will find Shivalik's range and all, what are the reasons behind it. This is your Bhabhar plains where the water disappears and it is flowing beneath the boulders. Now the Terai plains, what do you understand with Terai plains? So Terai plains is like wetty, marshy kind of area where the lots of grass will be there, and it is a sticky kind of things. Okay, so soils and water being regions are known as marshy. water is present but not much depth. Like you can walk, like grass is there, you can walk over those regions. It is like a sticky kind of area. Like if you pour water in the soil, how will it look? It is sticky kind of things and all. Okay, in the same manner, like this is Terai regions, if it is larger areas because of those rivers and also it tract or wetland, we will call it as wetland also. So 15 to 30 kilometer wide marshy tract called Terai, where streams reappear to the surface. Like in this Bubba Plains, streams disappear and then they reappear in Terai regions. So it is more marked in the east than in the west. In our country, it is marked more in the eastern side of the country. Like the depth is present in this one. So in the monsoon, we can observe in the eastern side of the India, rainfall is more as in the western side. And even if you find the rainfall is more in the eastern side. Okay, because and like in this region, like in the western Ghat regions, you will get rainfall because of that sea breeze and all, like hitting off this one. So windward side you will get the rainfall, but in the leeward side you won't get the rainfall. These are the desert, little bit desert area, dry areas, and Rajasthan area, like west kind of areas, are completely desert. So thus in the eastern side marshy tract will be more, and in the western side marshy will be only because of the reappearance of the stream. Okay, so if you are seeing marshy areas in the western side, it is because only of the reappearance of the stream, not because of the rains and all. Rains plays role but not much role, and it will be like water and sand mixed. That kind of piece is called Terai regions, and it is very good for agriculture. Lots of minerals and humus are present in this kind of soil. Okay, so you understand that Bhabhar Plains, Terai Plains, Bhabhar Plains rivers disappear and Terai Plains river reappears. Now Bangar, Khadar and Delta Plains. What do you understand Bangar Plains? Bangar Plains is actually your old alluvial. Like see, when in introduction part of this video lecture on the river system, I have explained this thing. Again I am explaining here. See, when the river flows, how river flows? The river flows in the zigzag manner. Okay, first thing. Now second thing, when the river flows, like this is your land. Okay, when the river flows, first it will hit that land. This is the two part of land. So what happen? It will erode this region. Okay, it will erode or hit like this. So it will erode these regions. Okay. Now what happen, as the erosion will happen, then the silt will get accumulated, that sediments will get accumulated. In the similar manner here will also happen. In the similar manner here this also will accumulation will happen. Then what happen, at a long period of time, the formation of silt or sedimentation height get more than the land present near that river. Like if every time the sediment is getting accumulated here, what will happen? The height difference will occur. The sediment will come above and the land present beneath that area will go down. Then what happen? Ultimately, as the river water increase, it will change its course. Okay, so it will, like, if the river is flowing like this right now, and if the sediments get accumulated lots of here and the height difference occur and the part of the land is below than this sedimentation area, then what will happen? Ultimately after this, river will change its course and it will flow like this, and flood will occur. For first time it will call it as flood, then after that this will the new path of the river. That, like that old one, this one, this old one will be your Bangar Plains, and the new one will be your, this one will be your Khadar Plains. That one, new one is getting formed. Okay, so what I have written, just see it. So Bangar Plains, it is the upland formed by the deposition of the older alluvium and lie above the flood limit of the plains. So river always has a tendency to move through the slope. So as the river fills its slope with the sediments, and as soon as the river starts flowing in the flat surface, it changes its course. Shifting of rivers takes place, and only because of that continuous deposition of the sediments, whenever river shifts its place, flooding used to occur. First time we will call it as a flooding. After that, this is the path of the river only. So the earlier place which emerged due to deposition of the sediments is known as older alluvial deposit, and the place where river changes its course and it starts sediment deposit known to be new alluvial deposits. Okay, so the older alluvium, that it is the upland formed by the older alluvium, that the older alluvium will be called as your Bangar Plains. Khadar Plains, a younger alluvium of the numerous river is called Khadar Plain. That is the newer one. The older one will be Bangar, newer will be Khadar. So Bangar will always be present beside the Khadar Plains. Why? Because that is older one, that the height has raised above, and beside that river changed this. Earlier the river was flowing like this. Now because of that height difference, river change its course and it formed like this. So this will be called as Khadar Plains, and beside that Khadar Plains you will get Bangar Plains. And what do you understand about delta plains? What do you understand delta? As I have already explained, difference between deltas and estuaries in my separate lecture, you can find it. So delta is something like that when the river flows, it brings lots of sediments with it, okay, and whenever the sediments bring it, it will form land here, and it is not like directly falling into the river. So whatever the land is getting formed, that all alluvial soil will present, that will form your deltas. And if the river is directly falling into the sea, no sedimentation is getting happen, then it will call as estuaries. And in this case, even if land is not fertile, because the sea water is getting coming inside, and the salty water is getting accumulated here, so it loses its fertility of the land. Okay, so that is the difference between estuaries and deltas also. And in the western part of our country, here you will find estuaries, and in the eastern part of our country you will find deltas. Okay, for this, what are the reasons behind it? Go to the lecture, you will find it. So delta plain, extension of the Khadar Plains, like the new one. The delta is the region where river meets ocean or sea. These are actually present at the coastal regions. At the juncture of the river and the ocean, we call it as the mouth of river. Like when the river meets the sea, that we call it as mouth of the river. So on the mouth of river deposition used to take place, which happens almost in the triangular shapes. Like if you want to see that, it will happen in the triangular shape. In that separately, I have explained everything. Please go through it. I request you to please go through that videos also. These plains formed due to the deposition at the mouth of the river is called deltas, and these plains are good to cultivation. That lots of fertility is present, and these are very fertile. As the river keeps flowing, it keeps on bringing new sediments, thus minerals being present. Okay, because every time it get replenished with the new minerals brought by the river. Okay, now we will see the division of the Great Plains with the basis of our regional characteristics, regions present there. So Rajasthan Plains, then Punjab-Haryana Plains and all. Okay, so what is Rajasthan Plains? So it starts from Marusthali, that desert area, that is the name of the place in the Rajasthan, and Rajasthan Bangar areas to the west of Aravallis. So it is formed by the recession of the sea. It is said that when you read Harappa and Mohenjo-daro lecture, Vedic civilization, Harappan civilization or Indus civilization, you will find that this area, that Rajasthan areas and all, Afghanistan areas and all, were very fertile. They were a fertile region. Okay, lots of trees were there. After that, now we are seeing it is a desert area. So it is said that earlier that Rajasthan areas was under the sea level, like our seas were that sea level. Like if this is our India, then this is the Arabian Sea. The Arabian Sea was flowing till this Rajasthan part and all. Rajasthan part. This is not this one, in the Rajasthan part also. Okay. And after that, the level of the sea decreases. The land present between the sea will get accumulated, that raised above, and thus we are getting desert. This is one of the theory. Another theory is like we are not getting rainfall, that the air flows in these regions are from land to sea, so thus the air is dry, so we get very less rainfall in those regions and we get deserts. Okay, so it is formed by the recession of the sea. It is believed that the earlier it was covered by the sea. If there were favorable rain conditions, there might be the desert region. So usually here wind blows from land to sea, so very less rainfall. I have explained it here. Rajasthan also had well oil reserves, which is the symbol of marine present over the sea. Formation of coal, petroleum and all, the reason only by if there is some animals or fossil fuels, fossils were accumulated over a large period of time. So if we are getting oil in the Rajasthan regions, and thus we see that this symbolizes that there are marine present over there, marine animals were present there. That's why we are saying that the sea level was present there, sea was present there, and after that sea level decreased, we get desert. So marine present over there, presence of brackish salt logs, Sambar, Degana, Kuchaman, Pachpadra, Didwana, Lunkaran, Sar. All these lakes show that earlier there was sea because they are salty. Usually river emerge from the mountains, flows into the ocean or inside the land. Luni river is present in this region that get almost lost in run of Kutch, and it does not enter into the land. It's called mouth present in that. Like see, Luni river flows and it get disappear, very disappear in the desert. So if it was sea present there, then what will happen? It will act as a mouth of the sea, like mouth of the river, and lots of deltas we are getting from. Now the sea has been disappeared, so thus it get disappeared in the land, and we call it as the mouth of the river. Okay, mouth of the river get disappeared into the your run of Kutch. Okay, this is the Rajasthan plains. Now the Punjab-Haryana plains. Punjab-Haryana, we will see the formation of Bari Doab, Rechna Doab, then Jech Doab, and then Sindh Sagar Doab. So these are the most important. Bari Doab is the most important. So these plains are formed due to the deposition of the rivers, the Satluj, the Beas, and the Ravi river. So these, that Punjab-Haryana plains region, the Punjab regions and Haryana plain regions. Okay. So it has two regional slopes. So one is towards Indus, and another is the southward towards run of Kutch. Okay, and the run of Kutch area, Rajasthan and all. Okay, run of Kutch, that is in Gujarat areas and all. Okay, so there is a Bari Doab where B stands for your Beas and R stands for Ravi. Doab means like it is a highland which separates two rivers. Like if there is a land is present, this is a land, and if river is coming, so it is like one river is flowing here, one river is flowing here. It's like if you remove that land, then what will happen? This river will float together. That is something called as Doab. Okay, the Doab means it is a highland which separates two rivers. It means if we remove the land between them, then these two rivers will float together. So whichever land separates any two stream is known as Doab. Okay, so this Bari Doab is acting as a barrier which separating your Satluj river and your Ravi river. Then Rechna Doab is separating what? Your Ravi river and Chenab river. Okay, or Jhelum river also. Then your no, that is Chenab, and also then Chenab rivers get differentiated by your Jhelum river, and Chenab river get differentiated by Jech Doab. Then your Jhelum river is get differentiated by Indus river, that is called Sindh Sagar Doab. Okay, so these are the Doabs present between those 5 tributaries and all. Okay, so whichever land, so the Bari Doab is present between the Beas and Satluj. B stand for Beas and R stand for Ravi. Then B stand for here Beas, and S stand for your Satluj. This Doab is present between the Beas and Satluj. Then Malwa plain, it is the central part of the region. I have explained in the deltas and all. Then Haryana, Bhiwani, Bhagar, which is actually present in the south and the southeastern part of the region. Okay, this is the Punjab-Haryana plains. Now we will see the Ganga plains and the Brahmaputra plains. So Brahmaputra plains will be here, this one third part. Then Ganga plains will be here where Yamuna also meet, and then this is your Punjab plains that I have explained. Okay, this is your Rajasthan plain, this is Satluj Yamuna plain, this is upper Ganga plain, then this is the middle Ganga plain, this is your lower Ganga plain. Okay, this is getting into the Bangladesh and all, here it will differentiated, and this is your Bay of Bengal, then this is your Brahmaputra plain. Okay, this diagram you have understood, I think. So the Ganga plains, Punjab and Haryana does not get the benefit directly from the Ganga river. It starts almost from the Yamuna river in the west to the western border of the Bangladesh. These came to the western border of the Bangladesh. So the upper Ganga plain, the Ganga Yamuna Doab, the Rohilkhand plain, the Awadh plain are the part of this. The middle Ganga plain is eastern UP and Bihar, where you will get. Then lower Ganga plain is in Darjeeling, Himalaya, or the Bay of Bengal. Okay, so the another is the Brahmaputra plain that is flowing from the Assam Valley. So Assam Valley, so it starts from the Sadia ends of Dhubri, that place which actually bordering Bangladesh. There is here Dhubri, and due to sedimentation of it, there is a formation of some islands which is called as Majuli Island. And now it has been observed that the sea is increasing because of the global warming. So the most of the part of like mangrove forest and all are getting disappeared, and it has been said in the Discovery channel by the Discovery that by 2050 it may reach to Kolkata, that sea level may reach up to Kolkata. See how dangerous for us, how the dangerous this global warming is going on, how we have to take care, otherwise the sea level will increase so much that the most of the land will come under the sea. Okay, so I hope you understand. I have taken lots of time to explain all the small topics. This is my effort for you. Please pay me by subscribing this channel. This is the only way you can help me, and this is a new channel. I need your support. Please like and subscribe. If you have any suggestions or if you have any feedback to give, or if you want any on-demand video lecture, please ping me on my Twitter handle. This is given in the description. I will be very happy to help you. Thank you.